Hi, and welcome back to Dirty Brains Garage. Today we got the day of the big eclipse, and it's going kind of crazy around here and everything. Um, People are saying the world's gonna end and everything, and if it does, I'm sorry. This video probably won't get published, but we're gonna go ahead and wing it here. What we got today? We got a 2008 Weed Eater. This is a Walmart mower and everything. And I have a couple issues I got to fix on this thing. And instead of waiting around, just sitting here, we're gonna go ahead and do some work on this one. Now, once this mower is cleaned up, you're gonna find that this is probably one of the cleanest weed eaters around for the year. And there's a reason for that. One of my good friends used to own this mower, and he actually, I can't say that he bought it in 2008. I actually was working at Walmart back then, and we had stacks of these things, just pallets of boxes of them stashed in a building and everything. So it could, I don't can't give you a definite year on when it was sold or whatever, but I do know the previous owner. He basically bought this mower. He used it for a season, possibly two, and parked it. And he didn't park it for a mechanical issue. He basically parked it. He found a little Troy built with a Honda GVC 160, and he felt the mower was lighter. He felt it, it ran better and everything. So whatever. This thing sat in the shed for God only knows how many years. So anyway, last year, this is a lot of years later, obviously, he had brought the Troy built to me. The deck was just about rotted in half. It was just, the mower was falling apart. But he was kind of bummed out because, like I said, the Honda, he was in love with that engine. I mean, he said whether it sat a month, a year, or whatever, go out there every time, first pull, she'd start right up. So he was kind of sad. We've been friends for a long time, but he'd never actually came here for any repairs or nothing. So he brought this Troy bill over. Like I said, the deck's falling apart. And next thing you know, he's like, "Hey, Brent, can you do anything at all with this motor?" Because he goes, "I don't really want to junk it because the thing runs so good." I said, "Not a problem, Mike. I'll go ahead and slide another deck under it." So I went ahead and did that, got it all running good and everything, and he just tickled. He just thought that was the best thing ever. So we went ahead and did that. But anyway, he's telling me, hey, I got this old weed eater in the garage. It's sitting there doing nothing. We'll knock some money off the bill. We'll take this one and trade. Works for me. That's exactly what's going on here. Now, just for I just want to show you, I actually have the engine off of this right now. It's actually unbolted. But there's an issue with this mower that I want to tackle before we actually start doing a refurb on it. And I'm not going to bother you guys with painting engines and all this nonsense because we just went through that. But what we got going on here, I want to take good notice on that rear bracket. When I move this handle, you're going to see that bracket moving. Okay, that should not be doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to show you a quick, easy, and inexpensive fix for this bracket. I've seen more of these mowers go to the junkyard over this issue later on in life than I care to. And like I said, I'm going to show you a real easy way to do it. So you want to give me a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this handle off. We're going to get this deck flipped up in the garage, and then we will I'm going to show you what the problem is, and I'm going to show you what the fix is. So give me a couple minutes here. Well, guys, I'm happy to say that the big eclipse is over. The world didn't end. Well, at least mine didn't anyway, and I hope you're all safe and happy as well. So I guess this only means we have to get doing more videos. So Here's this 2008 Weed Eater deck. I got it upside down on the stand, and I want to show you this rear bracket issue. As I said, thing's loose as anything. I'm calling this a factory screw up because this is ridiculous. So, you got your adjuster bolt here. That's the only thing that actually holds this bracket on. You're going to see you got a little tab sticking out here and a little tab sticking there. Now the newer ones don't even have this tab, they just have this one, which is utterly ridiculous. You can actually see on this one, even with very little use, I don't know how good it'll show it, but the tab has already started to eat into the metal. And what happens, eventually this tab's gonna snap off completely. And like I said, the newer ones don't even have this tab as a backup. So that tab snaps, the cable, the handle falls. Sometimes the bail cable's the only thing holding them up. And once that bail cable breaks, then the handle just drops to the ground. People are disgusted, the mower goes to the scrapyard, and that's the end of it. You know, I've seen this on countless of these things. So this is the worst design I've ever seen in my life, but there is a fix to it. So give me a second here, and we're going to show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this deck up on its side. This is what I like about my little stand here, because it's kind of multiple use. And go like so. That'll hold it like that. Now you're going to see they actually have a hole right here. And what we have to do is drill that out just a tad. So, I'm going to go ahead and give her a shot of oil real quick. Help out the drill bit some. And we'll go ahead and drill it. There we go. This, what I want is a 1/4 inch hole. This drill bit is actually smaller than a 1/4 inch, simply because my 1/4 inch already broke. And I have yet to replace it. One of these days I will, though. Go a little bit more. Those drill bits are cheap to begin with, but they actually work, so we're not gonna. A little more. Should do it right there. Bingo. Going right in there. All right, that's what I like. Actually, what's nice about that is that I actually probably made the hole a little bit tighter than a 1/4 inch, so this is actually going to work better anyway. So what I have here, these are from Tractor Supply. We're only going to use 2 of these bolts. I bought 6 of them yesterday, just for the simple reason that I do these brackets often. So that way I could take the other 4 bolts, put them in my toolbox, and that way next time I need them, I'll never find them again. Just like the last set that I bought that I couldn't find yesterday. But anyway, these are grade 8 bolts with grade 8 nuts. All 6 of them cost me 95 cents. So it's not a deal breaker or anything. And this fix right here is going to end the problem of this mower forever. So give me a second here. We're going to flip this deck back up. I'm going to show you what we do with it. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run that bolt through there. So I'm going to throw a little bit of Loctite on there. Doesn't have to go on, but it's, I mean, these are locking nuts, but I always like to do this just to be safe. All right. There's that. That one on there. All right, like I said, these are 1/4 which is a 7/16 socket. Go ahead and zap this real quick. Alright, so there's that part. Now also, you notice your axle bolt just has a regular nut. We're going to go ahead and put a lock washer behind that as well. Put a little Loctite on that. Actually, give me a second here. I can see that thing's got a little bit of rust from sitting, but like I said, that's all there is to it. I'm gonna have to take this bolt out and clean the shoulder up a little bit, but that's all there is to it. You put that bolt in the bottom, put this one in with a lock washer, crank it down, and that is the end of the problem with this mower. You know, why engineers couldn't think of this when they, you know, put it together, I don't know. You know, I can understand being cheap, trying to save money, but come on. You know, that, I don't, like I said, 6 bolts cost me $1. Now, if you were buying multi-billion of them, like the mowers, you know, the amount of these mowers sold, what would the cost be then? So, it's just very poor engineering on my part, but hopefully this will help somebody out, because, like I said, this is one of the easier fixes. But I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back. I had to clean that shoulder bolt up a little bit, but as I said, we're back here now. I got a lock washer behind the nut, got some thread locker on the threads and everything. And that's what we have. We got a bolt there. The only issue with this particular way that I did this, you can't use the lowest adjustment anymore. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, with all the mowers I've ever seen here, nobody uses that anyway. I mean, you got to scalp the grass with that anyway. So you're still, all your other ones are perfectly fine and everything. But that, you know, that little fix there, the next time that bracket moves is probably when the mower's rotted. So we're not going to worry about that anymore. But I really hope somebody sees this that has this issue and this will help them. Now, if you really wanted to get picky and wanted to use your last adjustment, you could actually just drill a hole up here and do that. But like I said, I may as well just use the existing hole, be done with it. I feel smarter than one of the engineers that made this thing now. So I hope you enjoyed this little clip, and we'll be back. As I said, we're not doing the whole engine refurb thing and everything in this video. One thing I am going to show you in a little bit, we got to replace a diaphragm in this thing. And I just realized I don't think I've ever done one of those on this channel yet. So we'll be doing that here shortly. Hey guys, let's go ahead and get this carburetor torn down. This is a carburetor off the weed eater. So it was full of nasty gas and everything. Very little rust in the bottom of the tank, but I got some vinegar in there right now, right here. I got that soaking on the bottom. It's not like flaky rust, just a little bit of particles and everything. The primer bulb was not working. It was dry rotted and everything. So I did replace that, filled the tank full of water, hit it a few times, and the primer circuit's working beautiful on it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this carbon apart real quick. And I don't think I mentioned that. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 bolts holding this thing in there. So what I do, I kind of loosen them in sequence. That way you don't warp the carburetor. All right, go like so. Not that this is guaranteed not to warp the carburetor, but it's a lot better chance. You know, you kind of want to loosen it and tighten it kind of evenly. So, I mean, that's just my only advice towards you as far as that goes. So I'm sure this diaphragm is probably wiped right out. So we're gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. And I actually got to clean this tank off a little bit too, but we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, this is, you know, this whole setup, this is like working on a brand new mower. I absolutely love this thing. Kind of don't want to sell it, but we're gonna have to. I certainly don't need it, but all right. So I'm gonna head and then we'll just take our diaphragm. Carburetor off like so. Oh, look at that. We got a brand new setup in there. Look at this. This is your little area where the fuel would sit. Normally that's filthy. That's brand new in there. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, what I'm going to do on this gas tank though, this area here, you know, they normally have it painted. I'm actually going to sand that down. We're going to bring it back to aluminum again. Throw a little polish on there and make it good. And the main reason is, I mean, even as little use as this gas tank it's seen, you put paint on it, you're going to spill gas on it, the paint starts peeling off. So what's the point? So there's no, you know, there's no actual reason for that. But I will bring you back once we finish up this carburetor and get this thing sealed off, and we'll go ahead and put the new diaphragm back on there. That's Briggs & Stratton 495770 diaphragm and gasket. So we'll go from there with it, but I'll give you a sneak peek here though. Here is our 2008 weed eater, and this mower is actually coming out absolutely gorgeous. I mean, for a 2008 mower, look at this paint right here. It's not even scuffed enough to the point that it's taking the paint off of it yet. The wheels could use some better cleaning, but I'm not gonna go crazy. But yeah. In the meantime, like I said, I wasn't gonna go crazy with showing everybody how to paint an engine. I just did that in the last video. One of the guys commented on the last video, you know, he was saying basically, you know, I fix mowers and everything, but I don't have that kind of time to do it. You know what? Neither do I. But this is not a repair shop. This is not a business. Let's put it this way. Okay. I do this on my own time. I enjoy doing this. Jobs like this is why I do this. Okay, I do a lot of repairs off camera and everything, not a problem, but I want to save these mowers. This is what I'm all about. This is Dirty Bernie's garage right here. The perfect example. So, this mower will never hit marketplace. It is for sale, yes. And it's not, I mean, I'm not trying to say it's a big dollar mower or anything, but I will not sell this mower on marketplace simply because of the fact that I'm not going to sell this thing to somebody that's going to take it out this year, leave it outside all season, and next year it won't start, and then it's going to get scrapped after that. We know the history on this mower. So I could technically, I could sell this thing. I'm hoping to get somebody like my friends with the 2013 Murray that I recently did, where I did a pull cord and all that. I want people like that to buy these mowers. I want them to bring this thing back next year. I want to do the oil change. I want to keep up with the maintenance on it. You're not buying this mower anymore. I'm sorry. You know, yeah, I mean, back in 2008, I thought this was probably the cheapest piece of junk going, but I'll tell you right now, compared to what they're selling right now, this is a very good lawnmower. So, anyway, I will be back shortly, and like I said, we'll put this carburetor back together and do all this other nonsense, and we'll go from there with it. So, alright guys, so now it's time to get back going on this 2008 weed eater. This is about a week later. I just had some repairs and whatnot going on, so my mowers, you know, they take the other repairs take priority, but everything's been cleaned up. I went ahead and I had the screen off of the carburetor. I flushed it out with carburetor cleaner and whatnot and everything. So now it's time to go ahead and zap this diaphragm back on. So you got, this is a two-part setup here. You got your diaphragm itself, and then there's a gasket. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. You want to go ahead and get all your bolt holes to line up, which is next to impossible with one hand, but something like that. So your diaphragm goes on first, and your gasket goes on after that. It's going to go like such. Like I said, give me a second here. Get everything lined up the way it should be. Yeah. You want it to look just like that. So go ahead and get this carburetor back bolted on here. Just slide it on. You want to take your bolts, kind of wiggle them around a little bit. That way you get everything lined up before you put it in there. That way you can, you know, you're not going to rip your diaphragm or anything like that. You'll feel them drop into place once everything's lined up good. That one. Now, I personally don't use glue or anything like that on any of these. But you'll feel you can see the bolt drop right down in there. That way you know everything's lined up the way it should be. And like I said, taking it apart, you're gonna go ahead and kind of move around a little bit when tightening it. And I do a couple steps with it. That way it doesn't, you know, warp anything. This carburetor should not be an issue, I'm hoping, since, you know, it's such low use, but it could, I suppose. Go like that. So yeah, like I said, you want to jump around a little bit with it. Now I just snugged them a little bit. Now I'm going to go around again, give them a little more. give them one final little I said you do not want to crank the snot out of these things. Just get them snug. They won't go anywhere. There we have it. So there's one installed diaphragm. A little bit of advice for anybody. Some of these older things, the carburetor will leak once you do this whole setup. You'll see gas coming out of the edge here. What you can do with some cases, what I've done, when you take your old diaphragm and gasket apart, you save that old gasket. On some severe cases, you can actually set that gasket on top of this gasket. You double them up and you're gonna fix it. Because if that thing's leaking gas, that means air is getting in too, and it obviously won't run right. So that's all there is to that. And here's the other side of the mower. Like I said, she's looking all beautiful. I believe this mower is sold. I had a guy look at it yesterday, and he likes it. He wants to hear it and everything. And if this guy is the one buying this, it's going to go to the good home that I wished for. So I'm kind of happy about that. So anyway, let me get this diaphragm bolt, carburetor bolted back up. We're going to put the pull cover back on and all that. And we're going to take this thing out in the driveway and fire it off and see how she runs. So I'll be back shortly. And there we have it. We have a 2008 weed eater complete. Still got a little touch up to do on black plastic pieces, but for the most part, she's a pretty good looking mower for the year. So just figured I'd show it off real quick. And of course we got to hear it run. I mean, what else would that do? So I'll be honest with you, I already had it running. I knew it was going to give me a little bit of a hard time where it had been sitting all these years, but it actually took a 3 or 4 pulls to fire it off. Not bad. Absolute sweetheart. I had set on low speed for right now. I haven't cranked it up yet, but this one's ready to go. So we're hoping to see, hopefully later today, it's going to a good home, and we're off to the next one. So thank you guys for watching. You know, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one.